There have been some joint practices going on Wednesday and Thursday, and the word coming in early from the joint practices is that the Colts were handling the Lions pretty decisively that first day, as far as they took care of the offense on 7-on-7, and the defense was giving up touchdowns in the red zone like it was their job to actually give up touchdowns as opposed to stopping them. But apparently when they got closer to the 11-on-11...
Is Deuce Staley the defensive coordinator?
Yes.
Okay.
When the offensive line came in for the Lions, apparently things started changing when they got to 11-on-11, and the Lions were actually starting to look like a real football team. There was a bit of a scuffle that I sent you the video on before we got on here, so I'm hoping you had a chance to watch it, because it looks like that scuffle was really much of nothing until Jeff Okudah comes running in out of nowhere and really sets things off.
Well, he's got to make a name for himself somehow, because apparently Michael Pittman has just been torching him during these drills, during these practices, whatever you want to call them. So, I mean, that should give Lions fans a little bit of a healthy dose of reality, I think, right? There was a bunch of optimism at the start of the season. There's somebody that we know, who does DSN content, DSN media with us, who thinks the Lions are like 9 wins. And to me, that's insane. But there's a lot of people that do think that. They think they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. And then you see them go up against, another team. Granted, it's only a joint practice, right? It's not like they're in the game. But, you're not going up against your own guys who are bad because you're the Lions and you're just a bad football team. You're going up against a team who, has a shot to win their division, and they're beating the crap out of you right now, from all reports. I think even Dan Campbell came out and said as much today. Like, today was a better day than yesterday was, but we're still not on the level of the Colts, essentially, is how I read it. And it makes sense to me because it's kind of what I expected. But it's I think it should give kind of a message to Lions fans to maybe pump the brakes a little bit.
They ain't gonna listen to that. You already know they ain't gonna listen to that. Some good news for Lions fans and the Lions in general. Wide receiver Quintez Cephas traveled with the team and participated in some individual work, but no team stuff. This past Monday was his first day back at practice, so that is good news for getting him back into the mix sooner rather than later. So we have this Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern at Lucas Oil Field. The Lions are 2.5-point favorites against the Colts in Indianapolis. So are the Lions playing their starters and the Colts are playing their third stringers? I'm trying to figure out how the hell the Lions are favored here.
Hey, I don't understand. My only thought would be, I don't know if Matt Ryan's going to play at all because he is obviously an older quarterback. So whoever the Colts have as a backup,
Nick Foles.
They're just giving the Lions like a first-team offense. Okay, well, Nick Foles sucks too. So
Super Bowl MVP.
They're just giving the Lions
Super Bowl MVP. Yes. Nick Foles is going to have problems with the Lions?
Yes. No, probably not. That's why I would bet on the Colts to win this game. I would imagine Jonathan Taylor probably doesn't play because I don't really think he needs to. I guess he might. The Colts might be sitting a bunch of guys. I would still pick them to beat the Lions, though, because I just don't. I don't understand how the Lions would be favored, especially after how these joint practices are going.
Well, I guess
unless all those guys are just sitting.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. There's nothing I'm seeing that's favoring the Lions here as far as word from the joint practices. Outside of, I guess, the 11-on-11s looked pretty good for the Lions' favor when their actual offensive line was on the field. They were doing a pretty good job of holding off the Colts' defensive line. But I know Matt Ryan is nowhere near what he once was, but our secondary is so bad. I just feel like Matt Ryan or Nick Foles is going to have no problem against our secondary, even if Jonathan Taylor is not in the game. But forget that side of it. What do you want to see in the Week 2 preseason game from the Lions?
I want to see something from Jeff Okudah because while I don't think there's a lot you can take out of the preseason, I'm just interested to see how he looks on a football field, and if he's still getting torched, that's really not a good sign. So I'd like to see him play well and keep up with, even at least the second stringer on the Colts offense. And that's mainly what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the offense to really do anything so spectacular, or maybe you're looking for DeAndre Swift to run inside and not score touchdowns. I really don't know what. I just don't know what you'd be looking for. There's not really a quarterback battle. It seems like David Blau is still second string, based on some news that I saw today pop up on Twitter. I think it was Kyle Meinke or Colton Pouncey who was talking about, Blau is taking a lot of kind of those second team reps. So him and Boyle is still a battle. Are the Lions going to carry 3 quarterbacks into the season, or is one of Boyle and Blau going to be the odd man out? And is that going to be determined in this game, and then the next game is probably probably the most intriguing storyline for the Lions.
And I want to see the defense. I want to see the defense. Show me that you learned something from week 1 preseason and from the practices this week, as far as just, enforcing yourself a little bit more than what we saw in week 1, because they were just letting Falcons do whatever they wanted up and down the field. They weren't stopping much, especially when the game counted. That last, they did the first time they forced a 3 and out before the fumble, but then after the fumble, gave up that touchdown. Obviously, the fumble was in our own territory, so that makes it quite difficult on the defense. But you did have them at 4th and 9. So you did stop them to that point, and could have gotten off the field and then held on for a win. 4th and 9 turned into a tiny Hail Mary touchdown pass where our defensive backs, once again, were outworked to get to the ball and the game-winning touchdown. So I want to see the defense, especially the secondary, start to enforce their will a little bit more and, prove they deserve to be on the field and belong on this field in an NFL game. The defense has a lot to prove and has left a lot to be desired. The offense, I don't know how much we're going to get from the first teamers. Again, it's preseason. Wins and losses don't really matter at all. But I do want to see something from the guys that are going to be having an impact on the season for the Detroit Lions, whether that's a first teamer, a second teamer, a third teamer, whatever you may be. And then obviously, I want to see the young guys. I want to see 44, Rodrigo running around. I want to see Paschal. I want to see Hutch. I want to see Houston. I want to see these guys and Kirby Joseph, doing exactly what he did last time, 7 tackles, 5 of them solo. Seeing Lucas, did pretty well as well. The young guys are doing it, and if they're going to continue to do it, then I want to see them actually playing in the games that count. Because if they're outworking the veterans that have been there, well, what's been there ain't been working. So might as well let the rookies do it.
Yeah, you always like to see the young guys play, and if Aiden can make some more plays, or if Paschal or Rodriguez can make some more plays, that'll be obviously exciting for the Lions, just to see them keep building and learning. And hopefully they get to play a little bit more than they did in week 1 as well, but I guess that's still obviously to be determined.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN, and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.